What's up, y'all? Cliff here from Not Gospel Studios. I've got Joel back in the studio with me. Dude,
That's right.
last night Joel and I watched the late showing, the 10:30 showing of Sound of Freedom, Jim Caviezel and Angel Studios. Lots to talk about with this movie. We're going to review it. We're going to talk about it. Joel, its social implications, the whole deal. We're going to unpack it. It was an experience. This is not gospel. Obviously, we're gonna have some spoilers when we talk about this movie, but we will sort of, let me get this mic fixed. We will can we avoid some spoilers for now and just talk about dude, what did you think about Sound of Freedom? Let's go.
I love the implications that this has for faith-based entertainment because they are doing things that any big Christian film company would have thrown you out the door for, and they're making way more money than any of those other companies. It's just a realistic world. There's a couple of cuss words, there's graphic stuff, and you could tell in the previews before this movie, they showed the Angel Studios trailers. You could tell what was Angel Studios, and you can tell what came out of Christian Nashville.
Dude, I will say, watching all of those trailers of these movies that are coming out from Christian entertainment companies, it did kind of pump me up. Yeah. Because there is a stigma with Christian entertainment that it's not good enough for secular entertainment, or whatever. Yeah. That Christian music is just a rip-off version of this secular band and whatever. And I really feel like some of these stories that are being told could give Hollywood a run for their money.
Yeah, and I think Angel's going to lead that.
You think you're going to lead the charge?
Absolutely, because you could tell there was probably 5 or 6 trailers beforehand. You could tell exactly what was Angel Studios and exactly what was, here's Dennis Quaid's 20th Christian movie where he's doing baseball and faith.
That movie hit you hard.
You just tell.
That preview, you were like, meh.
That I Can Only Imagine movie. It was probably the first Christian faith-based, God's Not Dead in my mind was the corniest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Granted, it made tons of money, but the I Can Only Imagine was it
was like a benchmark for what a Christian movie could be.
What
at
it
the
could
time.
be, but it had all the things of here are these Hollywood super conservative actors that we're going to bring in who were super famous. And it wasn't super real. I don't know, dude. It still felt super weird.
So we are talking about the experience of Sound of Freedom start to finish. So right now we're just in the trailers and the previews beforehand. I agree with you. There is a movie called The Hill that is coming out that seems like a really good true story. It will be a really good true story, but it did feel like a rehashing or just a repackaging of the same old story they've done. Like you were talking about, I Can Only Imagine. Like Dennis Quaid is the dad of this baseball player who has a handicap at a young age. He has a physical handicap with his legs, and he wants to be a professional baseball player anyways. Yeah. And it, like you said, it definitely felt a little bit like a rehash.
So safe. It's the most safest thing I've ever seen. Now, granted, it was on another level, but it was so safe.
The production value was killer. There's another trailer for a movie that had Hilary Swank in it, and that really buff dude, I forget his name, but he plays Reacher in the Jack Reacher series. Okay. Dude, that looked pretty dope. The one where Hilary Swank's character is trying to get all the medical bills paid for the mom who died. You remember that trailer? And then that looked pretty cool. I kind of dug it, man. The scenes of the acting looked cool. And the other crazy thing is they're all based on true stories. That's another thing. Do you think quality Christian movies are going to have to stay in the based on true stories area, or can they branch out into the fiction realm?
They're gonna do exactly what Angel Studios is doing. Exactly.
This content is brought to you by NotGospelStudios.com. If you want to support the channel but don't know how, just click on over to NotGospelStudios.com, follow and subscribe to us on all of our listening platforms, and then click the store icon where you can purchase Not Gospel Studios merch, including custom spray art. If you'd like your own custom spray art painting, just click the custom spray art icon, and as you're checking out, in the additional notes section, tell us what you want on your painting. We'll create your painting, post the video of it, and you can watch the entire process of how your painting was created while you're waiting for your custom artwork to arrive at your door. As always, thank you guys so much for listening and watching and supporting, and keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.
Literally, that Shift movie trailer, that's Christian Matrix. But it's not going to be corny because it's Angel and they're a bunch of Mormons and they have different rules and they're crowdfunded, which is why, like, segueing into like Sound of Freedom, it's like this was like, I have like issues with it, but like they broke all these rules and made a bunch of money and everyone's cool with it. No one has a problem with it.
Dude, so Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
All the trailers beforehand look exciting. If you're interested in Christian media having, or Christian entertainment having like valid entertainment in film, it feels like it's coming. There were so many cool trailers at the start of movies that even the ones that we'd say are even cornier or a little bit cheesier or a little bit like a repackaging of an old story, still the production value and the quality of the storytelling felt like it was better than what we've seen in the past. That I will say, I was like, most of these trailers, even though I probably won't watch that movie just because I'm not interested in the content. Yeah. Still, they felt like better than what was coming in the past. And the Angel Studios ones did feel like up to another level. I will agree, even from that.
Yeah, but Angel Studios is its own brand, so they're doing like all the Christian. Let's just say Christian Nashville. Is that where Christian movies come out of? Probably.
Maybe Atlanta is where a lot of movies come from.
Nashville,
too. It's
Atlanta.
Like the Hollywood of the East Coast. Is what
they're gonna do whatever Angel is doing because Angel is leading this stuff, dude.
Because they're killing it.
His Only Son that came out on Easter.
Yeah,
that was the last one that broke box office records. That was Angel, because Angel takes indie filmmakers, they put it through a guild process, they put their movie in, and they vote on it.
Yeah. So how Angel, if you're not familiar with what Joel's talking about, Angel has a guild. You can pay a membership for the Angel Studios app, and you can be part of the guild, which votes on upcoming projects. And you can vote yes or no, like you're super interested in this, you're not, you'd be upset if it wasn't turned into a movie or a show or whatever. And you can also say, I would pledge X amount of dollars to it if it became a show. Yeah. So it's a really cool, they have a finger or a thumb on the pulse of their audience, like for real. You can tell they automatically know what their audience is going to be into or not if you're part of the guild.
They have about 10,000 members within their guild.
Okay.
That votes on these projects. So imagine if 10,000 people voted on what goes on K-Love instead of 3 people.
Or if
that's what it is.
If people voted, if Disney Plus members could pay extra money a month to vote on their next up and coming project.
Yeah.
That might change some things.
Yeah.
Okay, so trailers aside,
yeah,
what'd you think about Sound of Freedom? Now this movie.
There's several different parts of my brain. The filmmaker part of my brain was kind of bored.
Okay,
pacing issues, whatever. But the part of me that is imaginative and sees the future says this is amazing that they broke all these rules. That it's a film about human trafficking. Most Christians would think that's too dark. They don't want to go see that. We're not gonna. But now everyone is seeing it because it's big on social media. They're leading a charge to like when my movie about the suicide prevention stuff came out, we couldn't get on Pureflix, we couldn't get on anything. Yeah, because whoa, we don't want to make Grandpa mad. He gives $100,000 a month to this. So don't. But Angel Studios is like, here it is. Suck it. Deal with it. And that part of me was like, this is leading something.
First off, quick and dirty, 1 to 10, what would you give it? Sitting down watching the film. And just be honest, because we'll go through why. We'll go through the whys.
As a film, 5.
Really?
As a leader of the charge, a 50.
Okay. Okay. So for me, like you said, you have different parts of your brain watching it. You got being entertained, then you got a filmmaker and a person involved in Christian entertainment. There's all these compartments where like, I got a rating here and a rating here and a rating here. Yeah. For me, all of those ratings are impacted by the fact that I'm a dad. So when I look at storytelling, I too have issues with the film. I do, and we can go over them.
Yeah.
But from watching it, I would give it, just as a film and watching it and being entertained, I'd probably give it like a 7.5 or 8 compared to some of the stuff that we consume all of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like you go watch a gazillion dollar Marvel movie nowadays. And I heard somebody say that when it comes to superhero movies, we're in the Fat Elvis stage of superhero movies.
Yep.
Where Fat Elvis wasn't as good as watching Elvis in his prime.
Yeah.
The problem was Fat Elvis could still deliver and sing and like, you know, sing the phone book and you loved it. But now Marvel movies and superhero movies can't even deliver.
See, here, take it like this way. In my brain, I would give that Avengers movie we all saw 3.
Oh, okay. So you're way more critical than me.
Well, but it, yeah.
But
well,
it comes
I
out
don't
of your
know.
experience. You made a whole freaking movie.
Well, and that's why I have several parts of my brain. It's not that my opinion even matters. It's just I'm giving Avengers a 3 and Sound of Freedom a 5. So Sound of Freedom is fantastic. I was just like,
gotcha.
There's, you know.
Gotcha. Well, and that's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So to me, a 7.5 or an 8 is a movie I would definitely watch again. And I would watch this again. I don't know how many times I would watch it. It's not going to be one of my all-time faves.
I don't think I could, but yeah.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so there was so many parts that were quality to me. The storytelling was quality.
Yeah.
It was based on a true story, which I love those kind of movies. I'm not going to lie. If it's like historical, if it's got value where it can be proven, to me that makes it even more like epic. It really does. But they went on locations that, like you said, were just challenging.
Oh my god.
The scope of the film was challenging compared to other Christian stuff.
The thing is, it's like, it's not even like the scope of that. It's just the fact of the material.
Yes.
And like they're saying everything that a Christian conservative dude in church would say. We're going to cut off you're just, if you've touched a kid, you deserve to be castrated. And like, whoa, don't say that on the stage. Dude. Don't upset grandpa. He gives $100,000 a month.
Yeah. So,
you know,
they're saying first off, okay, the acting was was all over the place because you've got young actors, seasoned veterans. Jim Caviezel does a fantastic job, I feel like, but I did have parts. It was either with the script or the acting that I had issue with. But overall, I feel like every parent should watch this movie.
Yeah.
I would say every human being in Western culture should probably watch this movie just to fact check them and be like, hey, you don't know that this is going on. You don't know how many kids are caught up in this human trafficking thing. It sounds like a right-wing conspiracy, but it's not. You've got a guy in Tim Ballard, the actual guy that this movie's based off of, who films all of their raids. They film their raids and present them to the public, but it gets no press. And this is really happening. Yeah. It's really going on. Overestimated 2 million children, minors, in the human sex trafficking slave. They're slaves, enslaved in this.
I saw this meme the other day, and it said what actual Christianity is supposed to be and what it is.
Yes.
Or what Americanized Christianity. And you had a picture of this lion, this roaring lion, and then you have the picture of the lion from The Wizard of Oz. Angel Studios is the freaking lion.
They're trying to put it all out there.
Everything else in Christian entertainment is freaking. I get up on these stages sometimes. How's it going, guys? And I'm like, and I feel like the clown. I feel like a clown. And I watched that movie last night and said, do I do clown work? Because they're saving kids. Yeah. Do I do clown work making my stupid reality show?
It made you want to go save every kid in the planet. That was the other thing. It kind of opened my eyes to what's important. I'm like, dude, there's real bad stuff going on, and we're so distracted and so content to like look at our phones and have a laugh. And this movie was. Here's the other thing. This movie, okay, so talking about it before we get into spoilers, this movie had a clear agenda, which was to raise awareness about human trafficking. It definitely had that agenda, but it didn't take away from the storytelling, in my opinion.
It didn't feel Christian conservative.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, you knew they wanted to raise awareness about this thing.
You know it's conservative. You know it's faith-based,
Yes.
but it didn't feel like,
It felt real.
here's the Fox News
It
exclusive.
just felt real,
you know?
dude. Everything felt
Yeah.
real. The scenes that were gritty, and they were there, and it wasn't deliberately, like, it was filmed in a very creative way to keep them from having to get too dark with a very, very dark concept.
Yeah.
And that I liked.
Yeah, it just, I was watching it and I was like, do I do clown work? And I think the answer is yes. Because I'm the rich kid in America. I'm the spoiled rich kid driving my Ferrari around, handing out tracts to other rich kids. And that's what I felt. And I watched that movie, and I think that's part of why I felt a little uneasy during it, as I was like, dude.
You felt
like,
challenged a little bit?
Rather than saving the world, I'm a clown.
Yeah.
I'm here to entertain.
I'm just Christian entertainment.
Here I am on stage.
Rather, here's something that's Christian entertainment with a purpose. That's something else.
It's
I
not
thought.
entertainment though.
Right. Well, it's an information. It's an informative purpose, and it isn't entertaining. I sat down and was like, I don't want a refund on my 2.5 hours.
No.
You know what I mean, or whatever it was. So, dude, yeah, I feel like everybody should watch it. I'm behind this project. Like you said, it's doing.
Yeah.
It's wanting to create a legitimate change. It challenges people's views of border control and stuff like that. In my opinion, the fact that human sex trafficking is very, very real, you begin to understand why people are concerned with border patrol. It's not that we don't want immigrants coming into countries, and it's not that they don't want that happening. It's to prevent these terrible things from occurring.
Yeah. It's a lot more complicated than you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. It's not it at all.
Or you're left
bro.
and you're right. No.
Yeah, dude. It felt like here are these. It's when they like the whole idea that there are more people enslaved today than whatever. I was like, what in the world?
There are more people in the slave trade right now, enslaved, than there were when slavery was legal. And it makes more money, as of right now, the human slave trade makes more money than drugs.
If I was 18 and saw that film, I probably would go join the FBI. Knowing what I know now about, basically, I'm a clown on stage. Dude. That's what I feel like. And that's what I think it opened that up all the time. I get on stage and I'm like, everybody's staring at me. Sometimes people are worshiping, or like I'm going and making this entertainment. I'm like, you have chosen to be a clown.
It made you want to be like, okay, I really have to make change. To me, it was like, I really got to do something to make change. Dude, part of that was like this podcast. I wanted to get up and talk about that movie so bad because I wanted to challenge people. Go watch it before it's out of theaters. Get your eyes open to what's really going on. Now I want to dive into some spoilers. I can praise the movie all day long for the groundbreaking stuff that it did, but then I'm going to talk about some things. What were your biggest issues with the movie? If we can do the fast take on what were the issues you thought the movie had that you hope that future projects address or fix or whatever. Let's talk about that.
So Jim Caviezel, after The Passion, he kind of worked with a bunch of like indie Christian filmmakers for the past whatever. So I feel like his acting is a little Now I think there's some with the script there. I think there was issues with like him and his wife. There was that storyline. I think there's just a lot of conversations. I wanted to see someone get shot. You know, I wanted to see some child trafficking people get blown up, and I thought they were going to do that.
So the one thing is,
but that was it.
It's more based on the real story of what happened with Tim Ballard, so they're kind of following that. So like you said, it's not the over Hollywoodized, romanticized version of it. It sticks more to the facts, and so there is a lot of conversations and just sort of tense moments, but no like
did that lawyer
real
get
crazy
killed?
Action.
When they showed him the picture.
Oh yeah, he got killed in prison.
In prison. Yep. Okay.
So,
okay.
Spoilers for the movie. Jim Caviezel, in my opinion, his acting was killer, but I thought it was okay. I thought his acting was good.
Yeah.
Here's what I didn't like, and this is probably where you and I kind of line up. I thought it was script because there were plenty of moments where he cries.
Yeah.
Where he's overwhelmed, and he's dealing with overwhelming stuff, so he cries. The acting is better, in my opinion, not when an actor cries. It's more emotional when you can tell the actor's trying not to cry.
Yeah.
When you can tell the character is trying really hard not to cry, that creates that motion like, oh man, they are wrestling right now. And I think too much, they gave away just, here's the tear, here's the classic tear coming down, here's another tear coming down in these dramatic scenes too quick, too often. And because of that, it took away from some of the dramatic moments.
There's like I said, the only
to me that could be a script thing.
Yeah, dude. I don't have like the only reason I give it like a 5 is because like it was kind of boring. That's just my opinion.
Gotcha.
Whatever. That's just my opinion. But like also I don't have the only thing I have is like, you could say there's script issues because we didn't get like Count of Monte Cristo, Jim Caviezel, and I think that was a script thing.
Yeah.
And then the thing with his wife was a little weird. Every conversation, it's like, she's like, yeah, honey, go pick up the groceries. He might die. I'm sure those conversations were not, just go do it. I'm sure she was like having some sleepless nights, tearful nights. I would love to have seen that. But that's it. The reason, like I said, I give it a 5. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of... Maybe that's me, though. I have a hard time keeping my attention for films. Which is why I said, look, if you're saying Avengers as a 10, then this movie in my book is a 15. Because
Okay.
I'm giving Avengers a 3 and I'm giving
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom a 5.
So the cool thing about this movie is everything was intentional and it didn't take away from the story. Like it's opened our eyes to this human trafficking that's very real. And even down to the after credit scene. Instead of being just a post credit scene, there is a post credit scene to this movie. And instead of being just a post credit scene that is designed to entertain and make you laugh, it's like a post credit scene with a deliberate purpose. It's a message from Jim Caviezel talking about the reality of human trafficking, talking about how you could how we need to share this film with people, giving people an opportunity to buy someone else's ticket so they can watch it.
That's Angel right there.
Yeah, just so they can see the reality of the situation and their eyes can be open to the truth about human trafficking. Like, to me, again, it challenged, like, I went to the cinema and felt like they were doing mission work through the cinema in a way that was entertaining.
I feel like in every Christian film that gets out there, let's get everybody there, and you just watch it and it's done.
Yes.
Angel literally just had a big hit with His Only Son on Easter. Now here's Sound of Freedom. Go buy it, get someone to buy a ticket. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. They are going to be the first legit, because here's the deal. You don't have famous Christian film companies. You don't. There's not one.
Yeah.
Angel is. And granted, they're Mormon, but dude, they're the first contender. They are going to come after Hollywood. Guaranteed. They already are.
Yeah.
God's Not Dead didn't come after Hollywood. God's Not Dead came out.
It came after the Christian audience.
But this
Not
did
after
too.
Hollywood. No, I feel like this one didn't seek the Christian audience. I think God's Not
Yeah.
Dead sought I'm going to be the biggest movie in Christian entertainment, and this one's like, we want to be a big movie that everybody watches about a serious problem.
Think about this though. Give me the brand of God's Not Dead. It's not.
Exactly.
It's not Lucasfilm. Now, granted, Lucasfilm, whatever, but Lucasfilm, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, whatever.
Yeah.
Angel Studios, Sound of Freedom,
Yeah.
The Chosen, His Only Son. Like, dude, they're just.
They want to be a film studio who's not ashamed of their faith, and I think that's cool.
they're rock and roll
we
about
just
it.
make Christian movies. It's
Yeah.
like we're a film studio who's not ashamed of our faith, and that's going to come through in our movies and our productions. It's going to.
That's what's. I was in the theater excited because I
Yeah.
was like, dude, this is so cool.
Dude, there are so many moments, spoilers, by the way, so many moments with these kids where they show the process of how these kids are trafficked.
Most powerful moment in the movie was all that stuff.
When literally this lady who's a former like Miss America, a former pageant winner. She has the trust of these kids, is enticing, telling these parents that these kids could be superstars, and then they get them in a hotel room to take pictures and do interviews to see if they supposedly could win a contract. And they tell them parents to come back later that day, and then the kids are gone. No. And when they're doing this, the moment when they're taking the pictures and you can tell that they're starting to sexualize the kids, like the kids' hair are pinned up, and then they say, pull it down and put it over your shoulder, and they put a little lipstick on the girl, and they unbutton the subtle things they did, unbuttoning the shirt of the little boys and stuff. As a dad, I'm crying. I'm sitting there crying like, why this happens. This really happens. And it tears you apart. If you have a soul and you have a conscience and you watch this and you're not, a pedophile, you have to lose your crap watching this. You're just like, this has got to stop. This cannot happen. This cannot happen to a kid. And the what's the catchphrase of the movie that I absolutely love? It's God's children are not for sale.
Yeah.
Dude, that, of course, man, you talk about hitting the nail on the head. God's children are not for sale. And they talk about the reason why this human trafficking is so huge and is overwhelming and making more money than drugs is because you can sell a kilo of Coke one time. You can sell a 6-year-old kid for 10 times a day for 10 years. It's nuts, man.
I think all the Christian companies are going to follow suit. I think this is going to affect Christian music. I think Angel at some point, which is why we were trying to get our reality show in with Angel, is they're going to create some music division at some point. I think all these things are going to happen, and it's going to be this alternative to the clown show, which has been Christian America.
So
the clown
2 or
show.
3 years ago on a cruise, I was talking to one of the execs of our management team for the band, and I was talking about how if I want to do books, movies, whatever, I don't want to be part of just one little thing. I'm interested in creating a Christian entertainment empire, is the words I said. Something that has music, it has books, it has anime, it's got movies, and it's quality. It's interested in creating quality entertainment art, and they can have a purpose like Sound of Freedom did. And I think Angel is doing that.
Yes.
They're trying to do that. They're creating a Christian entertainment empire, I feel like. And they're being very careful with what they throw out there. It's got to be quality.
Yes.
They're really vetting it, man.
And it's not even just like quality. It's like, okay, you have the nice camera, you have the lighting guy, you have the acting guy, but then there's the content of this is not just another sports movie with Dennis Quaid. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like that's all like they're creating stuff that is just like, even those trailers, like the
starting
shift.
to tell diverse stories. That's cool, because that's the one difference in The Hill, the movie that you were saying with Dennis Quaid is similar to what is it? I Can Only Imagine. The problem with that is it's a very similar story. It's tell the safe story again.
I'm a part of the Angel Guild. My TV show we were trying to get it picked up, still kind of are. We'll see what happens. But that shift thing, I saw the preview and the Guild, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I saw it last night on the trailer. I said Christian Matrix, but it's not cool. Like
Christian
corny.
Matrix, Christian Hunger Games. It's like all those little vibes put together.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's so subtle, you know. But it's like, I feel like Sound of Freedom was the most Christian movie I've ever seen in my life,
dude.
Like Lord of the Rings is. Like Lord of the Rings is.
Very Christian.
But it's not
vibes. Yep.
God's not dead.
Dude, go watch Sound of Freedom. Please go watch Sound of Freedom. Support this project. It's definitely worth watching. And just if for nothing else, the information, I do feel like it'll impact your life for sure. If you like this clip from the Not Gospel Studios channel, don't forget to share. Click on one of the other links and videos. You can find them here and here, and subscribe. I think it's down here. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that it's healthy, that it's vegan, and all of those things. Keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.